Hey everybody, wanted to do a quick video before the week starts tomorrow. It's looking like it might be quite the interesting week. If you remember, we're keeping track of what happened last week. We had a really great end of the week, but it was a rough week overall. Starting up over $50, we went down most of the week, lots of short attacks. And then at the end of the week, we had a rebound and a really great finish to Friday. So if we take a look at that one day on Friday, that looks pretty nice. And then we held our own in the after hours. So hopefully tomorrow we start the day really strong and go up from there. Just remember where we started and take a look at this. When in doubt, zoom out. It seems to be the saying of the month lately. So we look at this and it goes all the way up, little dip, a little dip, and back. So it's been quite the ride, and we're sitting pretty high up from our normal share price, so that's fantastic. There's going to be attacks. The hedge funds aren't going to want to go down without a fight. They don't want to lose this war. So we have to keep that buying pressure up if we want to make sure we push the short squeeze and make it happen. So I've talked in other videos about what the short squeeze is and how it works, so I won't go into that here. But just know that this week is lining up to have a lot of potential for the short squeeze to happen. I'm not a financial advisor. I can't tell you this short squeeze is going to happen at all, let alone this week. But there's a lot of circumstances lining up that make this week very likely to have some interesting things happen. We'll put it that way. Take a look at Stonko Tracker. You see our current share price. You see last week how many call options expired in the money. And so 90,000, not bad. 1.5 million shares to borrow. So it's a lot of shares, but at the same time, it's only 2% of our total share count. So it can do some damage, but not a whole lot. Just go down here to options data. All right, so we look at those 90,000 calls in the money. So those are shares that people could exercise, those call options that the market makers would have to buy shares if people wanted to exercise those contracts and buy those 9 million shares. Look at next week. This is why, one of the reasons why this week could be a really interesting week. 414,000 contracts or 41 million shares are in the money right now. Another 300,000 aren't in the money right now, but could be as the stock price goes up. So if we get a lot of buying this week, the hedge funds, the market makers, they're going to have to buy a lot of shares to cover, to make sure they hedge their bets and that they can follow through on their end of the contract. If people exercise them, that they can provide those 40 million or up to 70 million shares. If that happens, if the price keeps going up and we can hold our own this week, even over $40, we could trigger a big gamma squeeze where the market makers have to buy a whole pile of shares up to 70 million, 40 to 70 million shares is a lot of buying pressure, which is going to jack the price way up there. If the price goes way up there, then they could get margin called. That means all the shares they borrowed to short with have to be returned, which means they have to buy even more. And if we aren't willing to sell, that's the short squeeze. That's when we hold on to our stocks and say, we're not selling until you give us a good price. And the price keeps going up and up and up and up. Hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. There's a lot of potential. Nothing is guaranteed, but the longer we hold and the higher the price we hold out for, the higher it goes. And that's the essence of a short squeeze and why this could provide us with life-changing money. That's the idea of the short squeeze, why AMC and GameStop are super attractive stocks right now. The conditions are right. There's some other things that are happening in this next week or two. There's the Russell Index, which is an index that's pretty important that AMC may be added to a higher level of index because they're so valuable right now. And then there's just some other rules that are going into effect that may actually push the hedge funds a little harder to be margin called. If you take a look at some of the most expensive stocks, so you're thinking, well, AMC's $50 now. How high could it go? Here are the 10 most expensive stocks in the market right now. Berkshire Hathaway at $394,000 per share, worth over $600 billion. They don't have a lot of shares because really, who can afford to buy a lot of them? But they are very expensive. If you keep going down, NVR is the next, Seaboard, some ones you might recognize. Amazon, $3,000 a share, worth $1.56 trillion. Bookings Inc., Alphabet, aka Google, $1,600 a share worth $1.1 trillion, and the list goes on. So there are some really high prices out there. AMC, GameStop, some of these other ape stocks that are out there, they aren't going to probably stay at those prices very long. It could be a day or two, but during a short squeeze, when the hedge funds have to pay almost anything to close their positions, they're legally obligated to close. That's what it could go up to, any amount. There is really no limit. So just be prepared. It could get crazy. It could go up a few hundred, down a few hundred, up a few hundred, up a few thousand, down a couple thousand. It can go up and down, be very volatile. So you have to stay calm, not get too emotional, and realize as long as the price is still going up overall, we're winning. And the price can keep going up. So stay tuned. We'll keep everybody posted. I'm really excited about this week, and hopefully I'll sleep tonight, but I'm really curious to see how it goes. It may be disappointing. They may attack us really hard and the price goes down a bit. It may stay the same. Who knows? But the potential is certainly there for it to do some crazy things. And it would not surprise me. It would excite me, but not surprise me to see AMC go into the hundreds and even thousands of dollars per share by the end of the week. No promises. I'm not a financial advisor, but please like the video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll keep giving you updates. On a parting note, I do have an exciting exclusive interview coming up this week, so stay tuned for that, and I hope you like it. Good night. Get your sleep. Tendy time is coming soon. Good night, Ape.